Hello and welcome back to this cache crash course. In the previous video, we learned about caching, what is caching, what does it do, and we created our own cache using Python. We also created our own cache memory using JSON. How we can create, we saw how we can create our own caching using files. So in the previous video, I told you that I will show you how to create a cache using Redis, and that is what I'm going to take you through today. I hope you enjoy it. Let's dive into it. So first of all, we need to know what is Redis. I know maybe if you're new to this and if you're here, it means maybe you don't know what Redis is. And if you know what Redis is and you just want to learn how it's being done, then I think this is the right video for you. So what is Redis? So Redis is an open source in-memory data store used as a database, a cache, and a message broker. Redis provides data structures such as strings, hashes, sorted sets, bitmaps, hyperlogs, geospatial indexes, and streams. So the definition you are seeing here, I just pulled it the way it is, right, directly from the Redis website. That is how they have defined Redis. And as you're going to see, Redis is not quite complicated. It's a very simple key value data store that is very useful when it comes to caching. So Redis has many uses, as you can see here, used as a database, but mainly we are going to focus on Redis being used as a cache. So Redis, before, as I said before, I could not do the video, or I could not use the Redis because that was a beginner video. So I wanted to show you how Redis works just before we can start using it as a cache, so that you can know the simple basic commands about Redis and be able to apply it in Python, then make your own cache. And so some of the Redis commands that you're going to use are the ones you are seeing on your screen. And these commands are very, very, very simple. And once you get we'll see them practically. We'll see how they work practically. So don't worry about it. So we have get, set, expire, set x, TTL. This means time to leave, and the mset exists. Just don't worry. We'll see how this turns out when we start doing our thing. So Redis installation. So installation, if you're working on a MacBook, you can just type in on your command prompt or on your terminal brew install Redis, and you'll install your Redis server. And if you're working on a Linux operating system, then you use sudo apt-get install Redis server, then the latest Redis, depending on which distribution you're on, then that will simply work as long as it's a Linux operating system. And then on Windows, you require the WSL. After installing the WSL, then you can just set up you say after WSL is set up, then you can install Redis on the WSL. WSL, that is the Windows subsystem for Linux. That means that Redis does not necessarily work on Windows itself, on the graphical user interface, or rather. So you'll need the Windows subsystem for Linux, which I'll be using. You'll see how I'll be using it, which I'll be using. Then you'll see how you can go about it. Installing the Windows subsystem for Linux, I will not show you how to do that, but I'll put a link in the description so that you can find a way, or you can see how you can install it. Then do that first, and then move into the video. So what I'll do right now, I will now jump into my terminal. That is my subsystem, my Linux system. I will just jump right. This is a Windows subsystem for Linux. So if you are on the same terminal, no problem. If you are on another Linux system, it's also no problem, because to install and you get all the instructions on how you can go about installing the Windows subsystem for Linux. So as I told you, if you want to install the Redis server on a Linux machine, all you have to do is to sudo, let me click this here, sudo apt-get install Redis server. So for me, I already have the Redis server on my system, so I will not be typing enter here. here so that it doesn't waste our time because it's start installing, refreshing, and everything. So I will not do that. So that is how you install Redis on your Linux machine. And if you want to start Redis, all you have to do after everything has been installed, all you have to do is type Redis CLI, that is the command line. If you click enter, it's saying could not connected, connection is okay. So what's happened here is that I've not started Redis. So I'll exit here, and then I will do sudo service Redis server. I'll start Redis. So yeah, you can see started Redis server. Then we can now type Redis CLI. Yeah, you can see now we are connected to Redis at port 6379. So now the first simple command for Redis is that you can type ping and it will return pong. That shows that Redis is working properly. So now let me just clear the screen and so that you can start seeing how Redis kind of works. So the first thing you can do here is you can set a key. Let's say you want to set something. You can see it's a key value saying type in a key and a value. So maybe our first thing will be first name, our first key, first name, and then the value will be my name here, that is Elvin. Then click enter. You can see it returns okay. So that's the first command. The first command here is set. You can set a value and then the first name is and give it a value. So you can get this name by doing get first name, and you can see it returns Elvin. So you can also set another key, set last name, then the value will be equal to that. Then if I click enter, I get okay, and I can get the last name. You can see it returns my name there. So you can see all the keys that are present in the Redis cache. So here, that is how we are going to use to set values and get values from the Redis cache. You can see that is as simple as that. There's nothing complex about it. It's like setting a variable in Python. You can say x is equals to something, y is equals to something. It is that simple. So we can do multiple setting. For example, if you want to set, you can see if I do set it just give me an option for the key and the value. So what if I want to set multiple things? For example, I want to set the first name and last name at the same time. So I can do mset. Mset is for multiple set. So I can do the key, let's say server1, which will say, we'll call it my server, and then we do server2, that will be my second server, and then we can click enter. So if we get server1 will return my server. If we get server2, it will return my second server. You can see how simple that is. So the next thing you're going to do is exists. Use the command exists. Actually, the typing convention for Redis, you're supposed to use capital letters, but if you use small, it doesn't hurt. So exists tells that if a key exists, if it doesn't exist, it will return nil. If it exists, it will return. If it exists, it will return one. So, for example, if you want to see if there's a key called first name, so if I do first name exists first name, you can see it returns one. Let's say if I do exists first name like that, you can see it returns zero because there's nothing like first name in the key. You can also view all the keys that are present in the memory. So if you do that, is the command used to see that is called keys. Just type keys and then star. That is, the asterisk is for universal. So you click clear, it will give you all the keys that exist in there. You can see server 1, server 2, password, last name, blah blah blah. That is that simple. So these are this is just how we are going to use the Redis server. So let me clear this. So the next thing you're going to learn is maybe the time to live, the TTL. 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 TTL means time to live. So right now, if, for example, the first name, if I get first name, you can see first name is persistent. It is still on the system. So what if we want this first name to expire after a certain period of time, we want it to be lost, not to be there anymore. So you can use a command called expire. So you can do expire. You can so expire first name. So we want to first name to expire after, let's say, 30 seconds. So if I click enter, you can see it returns 1. So if you want to see if first name still exists, you can do time to live for first name. If I click enter, you can see it remaining 16 seconds, 12 seconds, and that means the time remaining for it to be removed from the memory. You can see right now it's 7 seconds, 5 seconds, 3 seconds, 1, and then we get -2. When you get that, it means that we are now the first name doesn't exist in the memory anymore. So if I try to do get first name, you can see it returns nil. That means it is not there anymore. And if I also do keys star, you'll see that there is no first name in the keys that are present in our memory. So that is how we can do expire. So for example, you can set a value and its expiration time at the same time. So that we use the command called set x. I know this is not part of the commands that I showed you in the slides, but it is I think I don't think it's hard, it hurts to learn. So you can do set x. If I set x and I'll do a new key, let's call new key cars, and then I'll give it cars will expire after 30 seconds. Not that, let's do 20 seconds, and then the value will be, let's say, a Ford GTR, something like that. And then if I click enter, it types okay. So if I do time to live for cars, you can see it's saying 13 seconds, 12 seconds. That's basically whatever I just showed you previously, but now we have set a key. We've set the key and the value at the same time, so it is then going to be cleared from the system. So those are just the strings that we can use. You can see the key value pairs that we can use to do our cache. And this is just exactly the exact same thing that you're going to carry into Python. All you have to do is know the syntax and how to work with the commands in Python. So another command that I can show you, for example, if I do key star, we get everything. So if you want to clear each, and if maybe you want to delete a key, just do DAL and then the key. Let's say you want to remove server 2. If you do server 2, you get integer 1. That means it returns 1. So if we try to get server 2, you see it returns a nil. That means it has been cleared from the memory. So you see there's no server 2 in the memory. If you want to clear all this at the same time, you just do flash all. No, that's not the correct syntax. Flash all. And then if you do keys star, it means that we have cleared everything from the memory. So that is some of the basic commands that I want you to know, so that you don't be surprised when you start using Python and I'm typing something, wondering what is this, what is that. It is just as simple as that. If you want to get something, you get and put in the key value that you want to get. If you want to set something, you set the key and the value. If you want to delete something, use delete. That is the something you can use and all. So now what we are going to do, we are now going to apply this onto, and you can also because you can also use the dictionaries to save this. This example to set. Let's set students, and students you want to put their value like a key value pair like this. Say name is equals to Elvin, and then do a comma here, then last name do something like the next one we do, and then we close like that. Let's just do this one only, close like that. See, so if I now click enter here, you can see it as set. So if we get students, you can see it returns this type of, this is a dictionary. So you can, for us to retrieve this, we'll obviously use the JSON file, to the JSON.load, to convert this back into this type of format that is that will be understandable by Python. So we'll see how this work. We're going to see how this is going to work in the next few seconds, and how it's going to help us to do our question. Then in the next few seconds, now let's now go into our Python. Our Python. Let's now go into our Python CLI. That is, I'll exit from here. Let me create a new Ubuntu window here. And then so I'll clear. So if you want to use Python with Redis, you'll use the pip install Redis. Pip install Redis. If you click that, you'll get your feedback. You'll just install Redis so that you can use it using Python. So requirement, sorry. So you can see in my case it's saying requirement already satisfied because I've already installed it. So that is what you do, so that you can install the Redis client in your machine. I'll call it Redis underscore cache .py. So what I'll do, I'll import, first of all I have to import Redis. After importing Redis, then I also need to, I think that is that. So after importing Redis, I'll create a Redis client. So Redis underscore client, which is equal to Redis, and then our host equal to port. We saw the port is 6379, so a port will be equal to 6379. That is the port that Redis is using. Then I'll do db equal to 0, and then I think I'll close that. And then we can do a simple example. Let me just, first of all, let me just go back to this side so that I can check if there's a key that we can try to get. Let's, no. Let me just do keys. Yeah, so you can see we have a key students. So let's try to access these key students from our Python command. So what I'll do key, I'll do Redis client keys, then I'll do Redis client dot get. So you can see I'm just this is just the get command that we are using here. So now that is just we have to access it from the Redis from this package here. So Redis client dot get, and then any get students. I'll store this into a variable named students also. Let me just use student. After doing that, then I'll do print JSON loads loads students. Why am I using that? Because when we retrieve data from the Redis client, it will look like this. You can see how it looked like. Let me just get student. You'll see how this looks like. So I don't want it to come into our screen looking in this format with the slashes and everything. I want it to come into our command prompt just in a correct format the way we typed it in, not in this format. This is a byte format, so I want to to bring it back to the print that way in a correct format. So I'm using JSON load, and obviously I have to import JSON so that you can use JSON here. So let's try to see if it's going to get this this data and print it on our screen. So what I'll also do is, and then I'll run that code. You can see it saying import. uh, so what's that? Okay, I've seen the mistake I've done. What I have not done is that I have not used the shebang here. If you don't understand what that is, don't worry. It's just something that will help us run. I know most of you are used to using VS Code. So for VS Code, I wouldn't need this to run. So let me just use this because I'm on a Linux system. This is how you run. If you want your command to run, this is how you run them. So I'll do Python 3. Yeah. So I think this is going to work. Let me just run it now. Yeah. As you can see now, we have from our Python file, we have retrieved the name, the student here, that is his first name and last name. From this, it has accessed this server. So currently, these names that I entered here have been accessed from this Python file, and it has printed it out here, the name, last name, and you can see it have printed it in a nice format using the JSON.loads. It have printed a nice format here, and the format is not like this one. You can see this is not that pretty. So that is how you're going to do. So the next thing I'm going to do, I'm just going to try and set a value. So what I'm going to do is going to do redis dot. As you can see, this is very easy. This is very easy and very understandable. I think I don't have to explain anything further if you're familiar with this. Now that if you are not, I'm just going to do anything. I'm just going to do it anyway for those of you who are not familiar. So you can see use the get method, get the students. Now I'm going to use the set method to set some students, set another student, or set something. Let's just set something. For example, a company. So let's say company. No, let's do Redis client. We're using this here to set Redis client dot set. So what we're going to set, obviously, if you have to set something, let me just go and type set here. So we need a key and a value. So that applies the same. So you have to set let's say called company. That is our key, and then the value will be, let me do, value will be, let's say, which good company, let's use Apple, yeah. Then I think that's it. So if I do set company and then I give the value Apple, let's see what happens if I do that. So let me run this. If I run our program here, you can see it has run without any errors. So if I come here and run and type key star, you can see there's company has been put into our Redis server. So if I try to get company, you can see it's giving us Apple. So we are managing to access this Redis server through our Python. So that is basically what we are going to do, and we are going to do the exact same thing the way we did it with our. So we are going to try and do it the way we did it with our Python file. Remember the Python the API that I used last time. It is the same API that I'm going to use so that we can set our, see how this, we can use this to set our cache. So what I'm going to do right now is show you just how we can set the time to live. So remember, the time to live is also what is going to help us refresh our cache every time it's not there, we refresh our cache. So what I'm going to do is just show you how we can do that. So remember how I use set x. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the setx command to access. Going to use the setx command to access now to set this value. So setx. So this set expiry, you are going to set a value and set its expiry time. So you can set however time you want, but just because we don't have time here, I can set up to 24 hours so that the cache can expire after 24 hours. I can set it after 20 minutes, however much I want, but I'm going to give the value in seconds. I think the value for 24 hours will be 86. That is 3600 times 24. That is like 8600, 86,000 or something like that. But I'm going to use just 10 seconds here. So I want company Apple to expire after 20 seconds. Let me do 20 seconds. I'll do 20, comma, then Apple. So the syntax is the same. If you come here and do set, you can see to set X, and then you set X. You can see it will ask you for the key, the seconds, and the value. That is the exact thing we've done here. We have done the key, the seconds, and the value. So if we do json.loads content, something like that, then we print, let's just set this value so that you can see it will work the same way. If I clear this and run the redis command, the redis script here, you can see it runs successfully. So if I go back here and try to access company, let me do key star. If I try to access company, the time to live for company, you can see company is remaining with 1 second. And then if I do time to live for company, you can see it gives us integer 2. And if I try to get company, you can see it's returning nil. That means when we run our script here, this redis cache.py, let me just open it. When we run our script here, it means the setx command that we used, it set an expiry for the company so that the company lived for 20 seconds in the storage, and after 20 seconds it was cleared from the storage. So that is the basic knowledge. This video has been long enough. Now what we are going to do next, I think I'm not going to cover that our simple Redis cache on this video. What I'm going to do, I'm going to stop it here, and we're going to have a very next short video that we're going to see. We're just going to modify our previous file.json, that the one that our previous cache that we used JSON. We're just now going to tweak it a little bit so that it can access the Redis client, and it will be just doing the exact same thing using the Redis commands. And I hope you learn something better. I hope you learn something. If you wish to learn more about Redis, you can access the documentation from the Redis website. Thanks for watching. Bye.